I want to start off by talking about Ref Watch because I knew I was going to be wound up by this today when it came on, and Darren McGallagher didn't let me down. I am as wound up and as annoyed by it as I thought I'd be. When you've got James Pearce of The Athletic quote tweeting the Sky segment on Ref Watch saying Darren McGallagher making absolutely no sense here, it kind of tells you where I'm going to go with this, right? The amount of mental gymnastics Darren McGallagher has had to do to try to justify that decision yesterday, or should I say lack of decision, for the Virgil van Dijk goal. What he didn't mention once that I'm aware of is the fact that it took 13 seconds for the linesman to actually raise his flag. So the linesman didn't make that decision. Be under no misconceptions. That decision was made in the VAR hub. Because if the linesman thought it was offside, the second the ball went into the net, his flag would have gone up, but it didn't. It took 13 seconds, as Arna said. And why might that be? You know why. Because Michael Oliver was most likely in his ear. And after that, well, it's a farce. Rooney thinks it should have been a goal. Danny Murphy thinks it should have been a goal. Even Jay Bothroyd on Ref Watch with Darren McGallagher said it should have been a goal. It was a poor decision. They didn't think it was a clear and obvious error. It was nonsense. The whole decision was nonsense. Why wasn't the ref asked to have a look at it? The answer you're going to get from the referee fraternity and from Darren McGallagher is that it's a factual decision, that he's offside or he's not. But it isn't a factual decision, is it? It's very much open to interpretation because it isn't the fact that he was off or on because he scored. It's was he interfering with the goalkeeper. That isn't a factual decision. That is a subjective decision. So why isn't the referee being asked to go and have a look at it? Because if the ref had been asked to have a look at that, I'd be far less annoyed if they ruled it out. I still would disagree, but at least I'd know the ref had a look at it from a few angles and could make up their mind. What we got yesterday was somebody else making up their mind, and that was Michael Oliver, and it's just not good enough. Like I've said, I'm not trying to cry sour grapes or say we would have won the game. I honestly think we probably still would have lost it, and City deserved their win. But that doesn't mean we still have a point, right? Two things can be right at once. City can be the better team, and we can still have been shafted once again by Michael Oliver. And I know, I can't let it go, because I don't think it's an accident. Now, it's a big leap from me saying I don't think it's an accident to what I think actually happened. And truth is, I don't know. I don't know if Oliver doesn't like Liverpool. I don't know if Oliver is very sympathetic to Manchester City. I really don't know. I'm not alleging corruption or anything like that. But it's not an accident that he's at the scene of the crime so many times when it comes to us, whether it's Doku kicking Maka in the chest, whether it's his influence in the Odegaard handball. I'm just sick of it. And it happened again. So my little mini rant over, but I do want to know what you guys think about it. I hate Ref Watch, just gives them way too much attention, and it's so biased. The best refs remain unseen. So Paul, on that, I want to just run with your point there about Ref Watch, mate. I despise it for the same reason I think you do. It's not objective at all. It's just basically Darren McGallagher coming on a Monday to back up his old mates or the people that he used to work with. That's all it is. We're not getting an unbiased opinion here. We're getting a ref backing up and trying to gaslight fans. That's all it is. And I don't see the point of it, because all it does is get people like me angry, people like you angry, and then we get told we're a problem and we're toxic because we dare question these officials. Whereas we all know the real reason. This is there because it makes Sky money, and it is gaslighting fans, and nothing will convince me otherwise. The fact that they went based off the linesman's call is wild. He probably had the worst possible angle to see if he had an impact on the goalkeeper. But see, here's the thing, Carson. I don't think he did go off the linesman call. Because if the linesman thought that was offside, the flag would have went up really quickly. You see it. When a goal goes in and it's offside and the linesman flags, it happens in 2 seconds. That was 13 seconds. He was communicated to before that flag went up. I've no doubt about it. There was another piece here I wanted to read out from somebody else. Oliver's a disgrace. How he's allowed to officiate a City game is beyond me. Spoke to 2 United fans today. Both agreed it was 100% a goal. Neville called it cheating for disallowing it. Good. Because it's right. And look, I'm not saying cheating, I'm not going that far. But it was the incorrect decision. And people will think because I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm going to say that. I hope you guys know me at this point. I'll tell you if I disagree. I'll tell you if I think it should have been ruled out or not. Because ultimately, I'm here to give an opinion and an honest one. And my honest view is that there was no way that goalkeeper was impeded. He wasn't stopped from diving. He wasn't having his vision blocked. Nothing would have been different if Robertson hadn't have been there, the ball was still going in the net. Airwolf said it was a goal, but VAR are in control and there is nothing we can change or do about VAR. So this is what I think is the crux of the situation, Airwolf. Many of us feel now that there's an undue influence or a possibility to influence football from VAR. Because I don't understand, Airwolf, why that referee wasn't asked to look at that. Because to me, best case scenario was a subjective decision. Do you think he was impeding the keeper or not? Because he sent him over for the penalty. He didn't say to him, that's a penalty, give it. He said, go have a look at it. Now, I don't care what way Dermot Gallagher tries to dress up the process of when a ref can and can't go to the monitor. The whole thing is a farce. It's a farce. He should have been asked to look at it before that was ruled out. Because it was a clear-cut goal. Said Oliver gave Slot a red card. Oh, the bad handshake. Yeah. I get you, Peter. I get you. I remember that one now. Yeah, that was a piss take as well. That was Oliver's ego, Peter. And that's something that comes up about Michael Oliver over and over again, is his ego. You know, I've been lucky enough to speak to referees who are at a lower level but have trained with these referees. And one thing I've always been told is Michael Oliver has a massive ego and Anthony Taylor is a model professional. Anyone I spoke to about Anthony Taylor said the same thing. He's a model pro. We might not agree with his decisions, but he's a model pro and just goes about his business. But the word ego keeps coming up with Oliver over and over again when I've heard it. And I believe it. Craig, I want to ask you, if you were to say in the Premier League, what would you do with VAR? I would keep semi-automated offsides. I would keep the red card part of it. And I would try to clearly define what a clear and obvious error means. So when we're talking about subjective decisions, I want to know who's making that subjective decision. So if there is let's say the Andy Robertson offside yesterday, I don't think that's a factual decision. I think that's an opinion. And I want the referee making that decision. You know the way if they think the ref should give a penalty, they say, ref, go have a look at this. I want that to happen for incidents like yesterday. I'd also like to try to see if there's a way, and look, I don't know technically, to have the perimeter of the pitch, or at least maybe even the whole goal line at either end, to have the technology the goal line has, whether the ball has crossed it or not, because expecting a linesman on the opposite side of the pitch to be able to see 50 yards across the pitch and give a definitive answer, I think it's just unfair to the linesman, quite honestly, because it's impossible. Nobody can do it. Like, looking across and you've got a post and a goal in your way, it's impossible. So I'd like that to become in, because the amount of corners that are given that should have been goal kicks and stuff like that, or goals that are scored where the ball was out or stuff like that, if that could be cleared up, that'd be cool. Mostly I'd get rid of it. I'd get rid of it if I had a choice tomorrow. And I was 100% on Team VAR in when it was being spoken about. When I'm old enough to remember Ireland joining the EU. And when we were joining the EU, and maybe you can understand this with Brexit to some extent, when we were joining the EU, the sales pitch to us Irish people was, you'll be able to buy stuff all over Europe, you'll be able to have a common market, and you'll be able to ship, buy goods and shop all around Europe. And immediately we're thinking, here we go, cheaper cars. Cheaper cars, I can now go to the UK, I can buy me car and I can bring it back to Ireland and I'm not going to get fleeced on it. But that's not what happened. The government decided they would rather pay a fine to break the rules and make us still have to pay that vehicle registration tax. So we never got to go to the UK and get the cheap cars or anything like that. So we didn't get what we were told. We didn't get what we were sold. And I felt with Brexit, England didn't get the promises that were on them big buses and stuff like that. So I feel like with VAR, we were sold a pup. And we were sold a vision of something that was going to stop the debating. That was going to stop you and your mates down the pub, or you and your mates in your gaff arguing over whether something was on or offside, or it was a foul or it wasn't. And all it has done is intensify that argument twofold. Tenfold, probably. And now, when you feel you're screwed over, and you know somebody's looked at it and still came to the wrong conclusion, now it just almost becomes personal. And you're thinking, fuck you, that is nonsense. So, yeah, and it's also made referees pseudo-celebrities, and I hate that. We should know their names. They should, the best referees, as somebody said to me in a comment, you don't know what about, you don't hear from. They just go through the game. So now we just have all these like ref watching Dermot Gallagher, and then we've got, you know, the Premier League thing with Howard Webb and Michael Owen, and none of it addresses what we fans actually feel, and none of it is objective. All of it is just jobs for the boys and making it sound like everything is tickety boo. So yeah, I hate it. Basically, in the long and short, I get rid of it tomorrow.